We talk about, Bernie Sanders closing in on Hillary Clinton, but do you see who's closing in on Sanders? How about these protesters rushing the stage over the weekend at a Sanders rally at Oakland? Not the first time we've seen something like this happen on the campaign trail this season. We remember when protesters rushed the stage at that Donald Trump event. Look at this. Remember this? Out in Ohio. He was at the airport, at the hangar there in Ohio. Let's bring in former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino on whether anything can be done to stop these close calls, on whether maybe we're going to see more and more of this. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, unfortunately, Connell, we are going to see more of this. I mean, where are these people learning this? This storm the stage is some kind of a protest tactic. They're learning it, sadly, a lot of them on our college campuses where this happens all the time and little's done about it. Sadly, we're watching in live time, Connell, an evaporation of respect for the First Amendment. Listen, the right to protest is as American as apple pie. The right to shut down the free speech of others, whether it be Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump, there's nothing democratic or American about that at all. And it's really sad to watch this unfold in live time. The people doing this have no respect for process in this country.
Talk to me a little bit about the Secret Service and their role in all of this. I was in the San Francisco area, right outside of the San Francisco airport at the Donald Trump event. It was actually the California GOP convention when things turned ugly with protesters. And I know from speaking to some of the law enforcement there and the agents, they were not happy with how it turned out, that Trump couldn't even drive into the event. Remember, he had to walk in and just climb down that concrete embankment. And now we see this with Sanders. Can the Secret Service do anything different than they've been doing? It's a tough situation that they're put in here on a campaign, especially one like this.
Oh, absolutely. This is a Secret Service agent's worst nightmare, what's unfolding in this election season. I can tell you that from having done it for 12 years of my life. What can they do? They're limited. Now, I'll tell you why. The Secret Service does not screen for protesters. Right. Unlike the protesters who want to shut down free speech, the Secret Service does not do that. We are still officers of the United States of America that have to abide by the Constitution. They screen for threats. There's a difference. We're not allowed to do that. Now, the staff, this is the second point I'd like to make, the staff, whether it's the Sanders staff or the Trump staff, these are private events, Connell. They're the ones renting the hotel space. These are not public events, even though they invite the public. They can ask protesters to leave, but unless you present a threat, sadly, there's very little the Secret Service can do.
What about your relationship with the candidate or the person you're protecting? What are those conversations like? Do you go to them and say, sir, boy, I don't think so today. I just don't feel right about this, or we don't. And how do those conversations normally go? I mean, it depends, I'm sure, on who it is, but I'm sure they can be resistant at times, right?
Surprisingly, most of the protectees we have are very compliant because they understand. Let me just say this way. These conversations happen so infrequently that when you're going up to Barack Obama, George W. Bush, or Donald Trump and saying, sir, we have a serious problem and we're going to have to cross a fence, they know something's wrong. These aren't the kind of conversations that happen every day, and they're usually very compliant. I've never been on the delivering end of one of those speeches where someone resisted.
Yeah, I know there have been. I said San Francisco's an example, and there are others. There have been some tough spots for them already. Dan Bongino, thanks.